Well, it's been a while since I've posted a video. I've posted a few shorts and a couple community posts, but most of y'all that are subscribed knows I've been sick for the past few days here lately. Not sure what it is, or some kind of virus that's going around in the community as far as stomach issues, that's all we'll say, and congestion and things like that. No fever or anything like that. I lost my voice last week, so I didn't post any videos. I was sounding like Barry White for a day or two, and then it got even worse, and I pretty much lost my voice. But I want to talk to you today about something I noticed today. We went to town to pick up a few things for Thanksgiving dinner. I'm sure some of y'all are getting ready for Thanksgiving yourself, or may have already had Thanksgiving. Now, I have a pretty big family, several kids. My mom and dad's still alive, and everybody just kind of divides up what they're going to bring each year, right? This year we got the rolls, sweet potato casserole, banana pudding, pineapple pudding, things like that, and drinks is what we was bringing. So we went down to the store today to get a few things. I was walking through there and I couldn't believe the prices on stuff. Like a pound of pecans was $14. A can of just regular evaporated milk was, I want to think it was $1.80. And we're talking store brands. We're not talking name brand on some of this stuff, right? The rolls were like $1.20 for 12 and things like that. But I walked over and looked at the meat department, and I've said this before, I don't see how anybody can afford to be buying meat right now. At least during the Depression and things like that, in the bad times, you could afford hamburger meat. People would use hamburger meat and just make all kind of meals with it. Right now, hamburger meat in my area, we're just going to say it averages $4.50 a pound for hamburger meat. Hamburger meat. The hams, they're expensive, but not much more than what they used to be, right? Used to, you probably could get them for 79 cents, and you'll catch them on sale for 99 cents in my area right now. Guys, grocery prices is getting ridiculous, and deer hunting's not getting that good this year where I'm at. We've got the drought. The temperatures have been in the 60s and 70s. We did have a few cold snaps, and on those days we saw deer. But as far as the way it normally is here, it's not. Tonight we're supposed to have possibly 50-mile-an-hour winds, thunderstorms, and things like that come through here in my area of Alabama. Weather's crazy. Deer movement's crazy right now. So, I've told you, deer meat is our meat throughout the year. Yes, we'll buy a chicken or something like that every now and then, and some pork chops or something if we find it on sale. But our main meat is deer meat. In the year that you really need it, because everything is so expensive, you're not seeing them. It gets kind of frustrating, and then you get sick on top of that, and you're like, oh, this is awesome, right? Just everything's going to shit right now. The grandkids, we got a message today that the grandbabies, they've got the stomach virus that's going around right now, and they can't seem to get over it. So, it's just, everything's hectic right now. All the ponds, like on my way back, when I was looking around at people that has ponds in their pastures and stuff, they're dry. They've dried up this year. I've never seen this many ponds dry. I have seen them low in the past, but crazy times. You'll have people telling you this is biblical, right? That it's biblical. And we're just going through things right now that's in the Bible. I've read the Bible. I can't quote it word for word. I don't go to church every Sunday, but it kind of looks like it, don't it? That, hey, we may be going through the end times here, but I still believe there's a lot more time to go before Jesus comes back. There's a lot of things that has to happen that hasn't happened yet according to the Bible. And that's all I'm going to talk about the religion. But guys, the prices of things are getting to the point of, I don't understand how anybody can afford to buy food every week. The cost of your health insurance is going up again. Auto insurance is going up. Your taxes on your property is going up. I always told everybody, once they start paying, fast food at that time $10 an hour, then your Whopper would be $10, right? And we're seeing that. They're paying people more, and to keep their profits that they want to make, they have a set profit. This is just hypothetical. Let's say they want to make $1 million profit a year. Okay, they have to pay their employees more, right? They're not going to cut out of that $1 million. They're going to raise their prices to get back to that $1 million, right? And that's what we're seeing. You're seeing shrinkflation everywhere in the grocery store. I picked up some of y'all know what I'm talking about, the hard cinnamon candy. It's just little round hard cinnamon candy. It was a pound last year. This year it's 9 ounces, and it's still $1 a bag, but it's 9 ounces. I use that to make, for better terms, not get in trouble, homemade cough syrup, that type of stuff. But the price of groceries here, you know, everybody says people on, I know people that's on EBT, and I'm telling you right now, those people, they're having a hard time to get through the month, through the end of the month. And people like us that actually pay for our groceries, it's even harder, right? Guys, it's going to get to the point of where we can't afford to buy groceries. It's going to get to that point. Meat is right there now where, you know, maybe you save up and you want to have a cookout or something, you can go buy something, right? But you're going to pay a lot more than we used to. Something has got to happen here. Something has got to happen. You know, people that feed deer. Deer corn right now in my area, a 50-pound bag is anywhere from $10 up to $15, right? Your $10 bag that you get from a farmer, it's a little dirty. You know, it'll go through your feeder, but it's got other junk in it. You buy the better corn, you're $12, $15, right? It's just ridiculous. My son was telling me, I think I'm going to buy a half cow this year because we have people around here that raise cattle and then they sell that half cow off, right? They try to sell the cow to somebody that wants to do it. And that averages out $8 to $9 a pound once you get that half cow back to you. Something that somebody here is going to say I'm wrong, but most of these farms that are doing this with these cows, they have $2 to $3 a pound in that cow when they butcher it. So, you know, prices are just, it's getting to the point of where people like me and you are not going to be able to afford to buy meat, right? You go out here in the woods to hunt. You have weeks on end where you don't see deer, right? Or days and days you don't see deer. I've noticed when you're out there trying to stock your freezer up, you won't see many. But if you're out there just hunting, you know, not really caring if you get a deer or not, you'll see deer every day, right? But we're getting back in the woods tomorrow after the storm comes through. It may pick up. In my area right now, the week of Thanksgiving is when they start chasing. And the first week of December, usually sometime between the 7th through the 15th, they're in full-blown rut. You know, they've got them locked down and everything. But guys, it's getting to the point where groceries is just completely crazy. We stopped at a grocery store just a few minutes ago where we used to get canned vegetable. It was always 3 for $1. And then sometimes you would catch it 4 for $1. Now that same can is 85 cents a can. Guys, this is why prepping is important. You know, I always told you it's too late to prep if you want to do it cheaply and things readily available where if you need them, they're there, you can go get them, right? We saved a lot of money by prepping, but it's going to come back and cost us when we have to put back into our supplies because we work through our supplies. The older stuff comes forward and the newer stuff goes in the back of our preps, right? It's just going to keep getting harder on all of us. It really is. You know, there is no middle class. We keep hearing all this stuff about middle class. This, you're either rich or working poor or completely poor, destitute. That's the classes in America right now. There is none of this middle class stuff. There's not. Middle class is now the working poor. Let's say you're making $30 an hour, right? You're like, well, that's good money. Yeah, it was 10 years ago. Now that $30 an hour equates up to you, after you pay everything, about $9 an hour, right? Guys, I hope you're prepping. I hope you're stocked up on stuff. I hope you don't have to do like we did and had to go buy something for Thanksgiving. Because number one, I couldn't believe how many people was in the grocery store in the middle of the day. Number two, the prices. And number three, it just keeps getting harder out here every day for people like me and you. It really does. You know, we're going to start seeing ammo shortages again. We're hearing that some ammo manufacturers are now only selling to the military, which is cutting down on stuff for the civilian market. And of course, once the stores get wind of that, they're going to jump their prices up on ammo. Plain and simple. You know, everybody says it's supply and demand, supply and demand. That's not what it is. It's greed. Because let's say you're buying a box of ammo that costs you $20 right now, which used to be $15 before the pandemic. Well, once they start saying, hey, this company's not going to make this for a while for the civilians, let's charge them $50 a box. And people will pay that price because they got to have it, right? They got to have it right then. The only way for these prices to ever come back down, and it's impossible to do, to get everybody in the country to stop buying the stuff for a while. That is the only way these prices are going to come back down, and it's not ever possible to happen. It's not. People need things, people want things, and people got to have things. And we're not in a position all over the United States for everybody for 1 month or 2 months say we're not buying groceries. We're not buying ammo. We're not buying fast food. We're not buying this, that, right? We're not in a position where we can do that. And these owners of these companies know this, and they know they'll complain a little bit, but they'll still buy the stuff. Now, during the pandemic, we were seeing them go up higher and higher and higher on stuff so they could test how much are people willing to pay. Once we hit this high, right, we're losing a lot of business. You know, people are backing off, not buying stuff. Let's drop it a couple of dollars, and then people go right back to buying. Same thing with gas. Gas right now is $2.75 a gallon in my area. During the pandemic, a lot of y'all know, in my area it shot up $5 a gallon, right at $5 a gallon. Now here, that's high. I know if you live somewhere where it's, you know, $10 a gallon every day, but for here, in this area with what people make, that is high. Our average income in this area, if you figure everybody up, their bring home pay, about anywhere from $8 to $10 an hour. After they pay and everything, that's what they make. They make a lot more, but like I said, insurance is higher, and you just got to do a full average of what everybody makes, right? It's not like it used to be when I was growing up. You know, if you made $10 an hour in my area, you living comfortable. You made $15 an hour, you were rich. You could buy whatever you wanted. That's never going to happen again here. But these companies, they'll raise the price up, and then when we hit that point where people kind of start backing off buying it, they lower it, and people are like, oh, it's cheaper. It's cheaper now. Okay, I can buy it now, right? It's cheaper. But you're still paying more than you did before. And it's mind games with people is what they're doing. And a lot of people understand it, but yes, we are incapable of a country right now for, let's say, 60 days, 30 to 60 days, people saying, we're not going to buy these products anymore. We're going to live off what we got right here for 60 days. We can't do that in America anymore. It's not possible. You know, so many people nowadays don't even have enough food in their house for a week. If something happened, right? They don't have enough in their house for a week. And a lot of times what it is, people would rather eat out than cook, right? Well, what are they going to do when something happens? We've talked about this and discussed this before. What's your thought? The video's not over, but what's your thoughts on these prices? How can we get the prices of everything down? And do you think in America that we are capable of boycotting stuff for 60 days to get it down? And do you think it would come down, or would they just, let's just say hamburger meat $5 a pound, do you think it would come back down to $2, or do you think they'd drop it to $3 and people would be happy? See, guys, we're at the point in America where our debt is so bad. I'm sorry, excuse me. Our debt is so bad that we can't fix what's wrong. Plain and simple, we can't fix what's wrong. The only way to fix it is everything has to crash and it has to start over, reboot, and go back, right? I never thought in my lifetime I would see it the way it is now, especially when it comes to groceries and things like that. You know, growing up, you know, you could afford a T-bone steak, or you could afford hamburger meat, definitely, you know. What was hamburger meat? A couple years ago, it was 79 cents a pound. I don't know how some people are making it that are not prepped up. I really don't. And it worries me. But I'm also like, well, you can see what's going on and you're not doing nothing about it. It's kind of on you, right? But at the same time, you wonder, do they actually see what's going on? You know, are they living in this fairy tale world because they can still get a hamburger or get a gallon of gas, everything's okay? It's scary times we're living in. I firmly believe we're living in the tail end of America, of how we knew it, right? I really do. It's getting to the point where people are going to start starving. They really are. If they don't control these grocery prices, people are going to start starving worse than they are now. We have people that's been starving all through society the whole time the country's been here. But it's getting worse. Think about the elderly who's on a fixed income. Every year you hear about the elderly getting a cost of living raise, right? Well, let me tell you what happens when they do the cost of living raise. Their Medicare goes up. That's right, they're paying more. So it kind of eats up their raise. It's crazy how this country works. I don't see how we kept our head afloat as long as we have in this country. I really don't. You know, the elderly right now, you know, just because you hear that they got a cost of living raise, you need to understand that that cost of living raise they get is eat up with their Medicare. Medicare grabs it. I don't think we'll have Social Security when I get 65. I'm 46 now. I don't think it'll be there. Let me know your thoughts on this video. It's a little long video, and I'm sure most of you's not still watching it. But if you are, thank you for watching. I hope everybody out there's stocked up, prepped up, because if you're not, it's got to be really, really hard. It's hard on us, and we're stocked up, right? It's hard on us. Because when we have to go buy something to put back into our preps, it's 2, 3, 4 times higher than when we bought it a year ago or 2 years ago. Guys, keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. Stay safe. Keep prepping. And guys, what can we do about these prices? What's your thoughts on it? Leave a comment. Be safe.